Hello, my name is John Caldwell. I'm the DeltaV Product Marketing Manager for Virtualization, and I'm here today to tell you about some exciting new virtualization technology and products for DeltaV called DeltaV Virtual Studio. In many industries, they've already standardized on virtualization, and more manufacturers and process companies are turning to virtualization as a way to reduce their cost, to improve their flexibility and productivity, extend the life of their system, as well as improve overall performance, reliability, and availability. With a virtualized system, you can literally start up a new DeltaV workstation in a fraction of the time that it takes you to assemble a physical workstation. Also with virtualization, in offline training and development systems where often you're starting up new systems and replacing old systems, there's a lot of advantages because you can use the same computer hardware for many different systems, including different releases of DeltaV. And that's because the hardware and software are independent in a virtualization environment, which also helps a lot when you're doing system upgrades because you can upgrade your software independent of your hardware and your hardware independent of your software, which makes it a lot easier to do system upgrades. For online production systems, virtualization also provides high availability and disaster recovery technologies that are very important for reliability and availability. Now, we've talked with a lot of customers, and part of their concern was that they didn't want the systems to become more complex, difficult to maintain. Also, they didn't want the performance to be anything less than what they're used to with their reliable DeltaV systems. So at Emerson, what we've done is we've invested in developing DeltaV Virtual Studio to capture these benefits and also address these concerns, making it less complex and easier to maintain. And the way we do that with DeltaV Virtual Studio is we have a virtual machine manager application that makes it very easy to connect to the network, set up your network connections, to start up new virtual machines in a fraction of the time that it takes in a physical environment. And we do that using pre-built DeltaV templates for all of our workstation types. And with these templates, all you have to do is drag and drop menu selections and no software installation is required. Now we support virtualization for both online and offline use, all the way back to version 9.3. For online, we support all of the DeltaV workstations, including operator, application stations, professional stations with AMS, zone servers. For offline, we even provide virtualized controllers and Charms I/O cards for improving your development and testing productivity. So today, what we're going to show you is a demonstration of a DeltaV system that's been virtualized. That DeltaV system in a physical world would consist of a couple of application stations, a Pro Plus, couple of professional stations, a couple of operator stations, as well as some physical controllers, as well as some virtual controllers. And so we've put those all together in this virtual environment that's implemented in this hardware here, where we have a quad monitor for the operator station, and that's being driven by a thin client that supports quad monitors. Just to demonstrate connecting to a physical DeltaV network, we have a controller and Charms I/O card, another thin client and monitor, and then over here we have a new integrated hardware platform using Dell's PowerEdge Vertex Blade server, and it's got 4 host computers. We're using 3 of the hosts to run the virtual machines, and it also has an integrated storage area network, which makes it very attractive both from a footprint, very easy to set up, and very good performance. We also have a replication server that will be demonstrating some of the disaster recovery capabilities. So that's the demo. First, we'll take a look at what a virtualized DeltaV system looks like online. And one thing you'll notice with the virtualized DeltaV system is it looks just like a regular DeltaV system. First, we'll take a look at operator display. And we've spent a lot of time researching the performance of operator displays, making sure that the call-up times were as fast as physical systems. Here I'm just selecting a faceplate, changing the mode, making a move, putting it back into auto, for example. We also did a lot of research on the call-up times for large displays with many different types of data being displayed. And we're happy to say that in all cases the virtualization worked as well, if not better, than the physical environments. Next, let's take a look at what this system looks like from DeltaV Explorer. And as you can see in DeltaV Explorer, we have under our control network, we have all of the different node types, application stations, operator stations, professional stations, our Pro Plus, all of which are virtualized. We also have a physical S-Series controller as well as a virtual S-Series controller. And under the virtual S-Series controller, you can see we have I/O assignments, both classic I/O as well as Charms I/O. So that gives you an idea of the configuration that we have for this virtualization environment. And so I'll switch over and look at this client called DeltaV Virtual Studio. Within DeltaV Virtual Studio, you can see that we have all of the host machines identified here. And in each host machine, it shows the different virtual machines running for the app stations, professional stations. So let's take a look at how easy it is to create a virtual machine within DeltaV Virtual Studio. You would simply select a host that you want it to run on and select Create Virtual Machine. And then from one dialog, we allow you to define everything you need to know to spin up that virtual machine. So for example, if we wanted to create an operator station, we could select what DeltaV version we want. In this demo, I've loaded templates for version 11 and version 12, but we have templates available all the way back to 9.3. You would specify what node type. Is it a Windows 7 box? Is it a Server 2008 box? Is it a Charms I/O card or a S-Series controller for offline systems? In this case, we'll create a operator station based on a Windows 7 box, and we have to point it to our configuration file, that is the CFG file that is the placeholder we created in DeltaV Explorer. You would select what node name you want and then fill out the DeltaV admin password information. The only thing remaining is to establish your network connections, which these we defined on our host computer, so it's very easy to just drop down menu and connect. If you're interested in advanced features, you can also come in and specify the amount of memory available, the number of processors. If you're in a high availability environment, you can enable failover and auto restart and specify what your backup failover machines are. And we'll talk about that in another video on high availability and disaster recovery. Now, for a demonstration like this, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to create an operator station just because it's about a 15 gigabyte virtual machine file. But what we can demonstrate is a smaller virtual machine. So for example, if we created a S-Series controller for our test and development lab, we could come in, select the node type, specify the node name. We'll call it S controller JC. Specify the network connection. In this demonstration, I only have a primary network. And so what it's doing now is it's copying over this virtual machine template for the S-Series controller. It's adding the IP address, the MAC address, the node name, and then it's spinning it up and adding it to the DeltaV network. And it'll appear in DeltaV just like you went and plugged in a new controller card within DeltaV. So if we pop over back to our professional station, which we can view from this same thin client, and we look under the decommissioned nodes, what we'll see is a new virtual controller pop up, just like a physical controller that we created from those templates. Okay, so here's our virtual S-Series controller that DeltaV's seen, and we could drag and drop that to our control network and it would behave just like a normal S-Series controller. So I hope that gave you some idea of how easy it is to create new virtual machines within DeltaV Virtual Studio. We do support both online and offline back to version 9.3. If you'd like more information, I encourage you to visit our website at deltav.com, or look for part 2 of this video where we'll look at some more advanced features for high availability, disaster recovery, and our integrated virtualization hardware platform. Thank you.